The clock in Los Angeles was slipping away and chaos broke loose on the floor. A scramble ended with Kelsey Plum fumbling the ball, and out of the sky came Aaliyah Boston, snatching it clean with hands that seemed to swallow the moment whole. Indiana called timeout, and just like that, the image was set in stone. A team ravaged by injuries, doubted by critics, still refusing to break. Boston didn't just talk about resilience afterward, she lived it in real time, with bruises on her face and a message on her lips that resonated with every Fever fan watching. "We trust each other. Next woman up." That phrase was more than a slogan. It was the living heartbeat of a team dragging itself through one of the toughest stretches of the season. Caitlin Clark sidelined. Sophie Cunningham out. Sydney Colson and Aari McDonald unavailable. 4 guards gone, 4 voices missing, and nothing but grit left to hold on to. Most teams fold under that kind of pressure, especially with playoff stakes on the line. But Indiana had no choice. They had to fight, even against a Sparks team that had beaten them 3 straight times this season. Every matchup had ended in frustration. Every loss had chipped away at their confidence. And with LA creeping just 2 games behind in the standings, this game was loaded with weight. The Fever couldn't afford another stumble. What they had instead was toughness written across the face of Lexi Hull. 2 black eyes. The aftermath of a violent collision just days before, and still she laced up. Her stat line wasn't the story. It was her presence, the bruises that said more than words ever could. Every time she dived to the floor, every time she ran into a screen, every time she locked onto a defender, it was a message. If I can fight through this, so can you. Hull didn't have to say a word. Her resilience was contagious. She was the visual proof of Boston's words, next woman up. And while Hull embodied grit, Odyssey Sims took it further. She turned the night into her own revival. 31 years old, a veteran who wasn't even supposed to be the centerpiece, suddenly became the calmest player on the floor. She checked in and began carving through the sparks like she'd been waiting for this chance her whole life. A 3-pointer here, a floater there, steals that turned into breakaways, drives straight through traffic. The scouting report wasn't built for her, but by the time the 4th quarter arrived, the ball kept finding her hands. It wasn't just the 21 points she scored. It was when they came. When Kelsey Mitchell struggled to find rhythm, when the offense looked lost, Sims stepped forward without hesitation. Her dagger with 13 seconds left, a floater that dropped smooth and silent, sealed the win. She didn't celebrate like someone shocked by the moment. She jogged back calm, composed, like she knew it was always hers to take. And afterward, she explained it in one line that perfectly captured the spirit of this team. "If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready." That's why her performance mattered so deeply. Sims had lived the grind of cuts, hardship contracts, and comebacks. For her, the shot wasn't luck. It was survival, the result of always staying prepared for the one chance that could change everything. In Los Angeles, she got it, and she didn't let it slip. But while Sims provided the dagger, the foundation of the win belonged to Aliyah Boston. From the very beginning, she owned the game, powering through defenders, muscling rebounds, setting the tone. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and a career-high 6 steals. She was everywhere, cleaning up the glass, rotating on defense, and making plays that stretched beyond the box score. Her impact was constant, unshakable, the kind of presence that doesn't just guide a team, it carries it. The defining moment came with under 2 seconds left. Los Angeles had one last possession, one last shot at stealing the game. The ball went up for grabs, and Boston ripped it away like it belonged to her all along. No scramble, no panic. Just a superstar closing the door. That's the type of play that defines seasons. That's the type of play that shows why her words after the game mattered. She wasn't just talking about the next woman up mentality. She had embodied it from start to finish, leading by example and trusting everyone around her to do the same. And trust mattered because this game wasn't about perfection. Indiana didn't win with beautiful offense or flawless execution. They won with deflections, with stops, with offensive rebounds that stretched possessions. They won ugly, but they won with urgency, and that urgency became their identity. Every player on the floor had to do more than their role demanded. Hull playing through bruises, Sims stepping into the spotlight, Aerial Powers bringing fire off the bench, Natasha Howard grinding for space. Each moment became a piece of proof that this team was more than the sum of its injuries. The standings told the story of why this mattered. Indiana clung to 6th place, needing every win to create breathing room over Seattle while pushing Los Angeles further back. Playoff security is fragile this late in the season, and every stumble feels like the ground is giving way. But this win wasn't just survival. It was a statement. The Fever could take punches and still deliver the knockout, and all of it came without Caitlin Clark. The rookie sensation has been sidelined for weeks with a groin injury, missing 17 straight games. Yet before the Sparks matchup, she was back in practice gear, taking shots, moving through warm-ups, showing flashes of herself again. Her return isn't official yet, but the signs are there. Coaches are watching closely, balancing the risk of rushing her with the reward of her presence. For the first time in weeks, hope feels real. Imagine what this team could look like with her back on the floor. Clark was averaging 19 points and 8 assists before her injury. She wasn't just scoring, she was dictating the pace, unlocking Boston in the paint, and giving Mitchell space to operate. Defenses had to bend around her presence, and suddenly shooters were freer, cutters had lanes, and the Fever's offense hummed differently. This win proved they can fight without her. But with her return looming, the picture shifts from survival to possibility. They're not just hanging on, they might actually be ready to make noise when the playoffs arrive. Behind all of this, Stephanie White's steady hand has kept the team grounded. Her message has been consistent. Be where your feet are. Focus on what's in front of you, not what's missing. That mindset carried Indiana through an ugly game in Los Angeles. Shots didn't always fall. The rhythm wasn't perfect. But in the moments that mattered most, her players executed. They defended when they had to, rebounded when it mattered, and stayed calm enough to seize the win. And that's why this night mattered more than just another mark in the win column. The Fever had been sliding. They had been questioned. They had been swept by the Sparks all season. This game looked like the setup for collapse. Instead, it became the reminder that resilience defines them. Hull's toughness, Sims's revival, Boston's dominance, and the collective fight of everyone left standing turned a fragile roster into something dangerous. For fans, it wasn't just relief. It was belief. The Fever don't look like a team waiting for the season to end. They look like a group learning how to close games under fire. With Clark's return looming, they look like a team ready to push further than anyone expected. Boston's message still lingers in the air. Next woman up. That's the culture. That's the identity. And that's why, even in the toughest moments, this season feels like it's just beginning.